Throw the slack, you fucking moron!
Such a good one. Hey everybody, welcome back to ScreenShare, a movie podcast. My name is Adam.
And I'm Calder.
And last episode, we talked about that awkward moment.
Ooh,
Yikes. Not a good one. Not a good one. But we've got a little bit of a better one coming up this one. One of actually my favorite rom-com teen movies.
Oh, we're going to have some problems then.
Oh, yikes. And that's 10 Things I Hate About You, starring Heath Ledger and
Julia Stiles.
And
Joseph Gordon-Levitt and
Joseph
David
Gordon-Levitt
Krumholtz.
and David Krumholtz.
And Julia Stiles' sister in the movie.
Then
Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle Union as well. So this is a movie that I'd never seen before until about 2 years ago. Because it's my girlfriend one of my girlfriend Olivia's favorite movies. She says it's one of her comfort movies. So there was a day where she was like, "Can we watch this?" And I said yes. And then 2 days later, she said, "Can we watch it again?" And I said yes. And up to this point, I think I've seen it 5 times.
Wowie!
So it's a lucky thing I like it. So this movie.
We got a weird
came out in 1999. We were born then. Wait, when's your birthday's March 23rd?
Figure it out. Yeah.
Hell yeah. This movie
But blank that out for my social insurance stuff.
This movie came out March 31st, 1999.
So I probably saw it then. I probably saw it.
Yeah, you probably saw it then. You were born. I was not.
Yeah, you're kind of just like
I was not
little
born yet.
scrap in the ocean.
I'm a scrap in the ocean?
That's
The
what
ocean
I said,
is full
bitch.
of scraps. This movie was written, or co-wrote, by Karen McCullough. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Doesn't matter.
I have no clue who she is.
She wrote 10 Things I Hate About You, Legally Blonde, Ella Enchanted, The House Bunny, the only one I haven't really heard about, The Ugly Truth, and She's the Man, with her screenwriting partner Kirsten Smith. They wrote all those. With Amanda Bynes? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So those are all like some pretty good like teen.
Oh, that's the one where she plays soccer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking the one that they remade with Addison Rae.
I know.
forget
I know
called.
which one you're talking about, but I forget. So that's a pretty
all about
good,
that bass.
All about that bass. About that.
What
bass.
if we got Meghan Trainor on?
Oh my goodness.
Pop star.
So that's a pretty good catalog of movies that they've written together.
it's an impressive resume.
I looked for things that the director has done, and they didn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah, because it's a dude, right?
No,
it's not.
I don't think so.
Let me look it up. I remember looking it up and being like, oh.
While you're looking it up, I'll just quickly say the budget for this movie was $13 million, and the box office was $60 million. That seems like
that's pretty good
for a '90s comedy. That seems about pretty good. About
Gil Younger.
Yeah,
it's a dude.
Oh, it is a dude?
Yeah.
Well,
looks kind of like Anthony Bourdain.
So decent success.
And it
fiscally.
actually, you can see the budget in the movie. Like, this is only $5 million more than That Awkward Moment, but there's some really good shots in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where it goes from, like, a crane shot all the way down to the house through the window, and you're like, what the hell?
It's well made.
Yeah.
If I was like in the pitch room for like Spider-Man Homecoming,
I'd be like, let's do this.
Yeah, I probably would point to this movie and be like, this kind of vibe
Mm-hmm.
is kind of like what I think is like the best to kind of capture high school, but in like a funny, quirky, dramatic way.
Yeah.
Critical reception for this movie was mostly positive. Like, it was generally good.
It says here 71 on Rotten Tomatoes, if that means a thing for you.
Sure, but I mean, like, at the time it came out, people were like, well, and reviewers were generally saying, like, a lot of the reviews said, of all of the teen comedies coming out this year, this one's by far the best. And I was like, how many teen comedies are coming out in 1999? I guess a lot.
Yeah.
But this...
She's All That came out this year. Drive Me Crazy. Probably some other ones, but She's All That was the one I was thinking about. Oh, American Pie.
Oh, wow.
Never Been Kissed. Can't Hardly Wait a year earlier. So it was a big time for
Easy
teen
A?
comedies.
Oh, no, that
no,
wasn't
Easy A
that
is
year.
2013.
Okay.
Clueless a couple years before.
I was going to say that. Easy A, 1999. Certainly not.
I like American Pie a little more than this.
That's right. I've never seen American
But
Pie.
that's the awkward moment to this is like the other kind of rom-com. Where like American Pie is like rom-com for dudes kind of.
Oh, okay.
Which is probably why I like it more because I'm a little fucking sexist.
So this movie was like generally received well at first, but like it got most of its popularity later as kind of like a cult classic a little bit. It's kind of considered a must-see teen flick at this point in the catalog of teen flicks. But I really like it a lot. It's got a great cast of a bunch of people before they were famous, really. This was Heath Ledger's first American film. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's a tiny little child boy in this movie.
Yeah, but this was after Third Rock from the Sun.
Okay.
I think. Let's make sure that's true.
So this movie basically kind of starts out following Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character Cameron, but then kind of shifts a little bit partway through the movie to be following Heath Ledger's character of Patrick, and Julia Stiles' character of Kat. And apparently Kate Hudson was offered the role of Kat, but her mom, Goldie Hawn, didn't like the script, so she didn't let her do it.
That's a wild family.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell is her dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if it's actually her dad. It's probably not because her last name's Hudson. But Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell are married now. Kate Hudson is the daughter.
Sure.
Wyatt Russell, new Captain America guy.
Yep.
He's their son.
Interesting.
And then there's like one more who's like a famous TV actor.
Interesting.
Wild. Little Nepo babies, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait. Never mind. I'm sorry.
So Kate Hudson was offered the role of Kat.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't take it. Heath Ledger beat out an almost casting of Ashton Kutcher as Patrick, which I think would have made this movie quite a bit worse.
Yeah.
I think Heath Ledger's like natural charisma kind of carries a lot of this movie, or I shouldn't say carries, because the other aspects of the film are good as well. Mm-hmm. But he's like, to me, the most obvious thing to point to as to why this movie works.
Yeah. I think
he plays the smarmy yet
guy.
charismatic guy that Zac Efron doesn't play in that awkward moment where he's just like full smarmy. Whereas here, Heath Ledger's like...
he's got a little charm to him.
Yeah. The smarm is a veil to hide the like charismatic, genuine kind
There's
guy.
no depth to the Zac Efron thing.
Yeah.
Where like you can tell that like Heath Ledger's a little broken, but a good guy.
Yeah.
But he's hiding it. Zac Efron's just like...
Heath
just
Ledger's
like
character
nothing.
in this is how you make like a quote unquote bad
guy likable.
like likable and
hot.
I'm trying to figure out how to word this so that you root for him. Like you root for Heath Ledger in this movie. I wasn't rooting for Zac Efron in that awkward moment. So a big thing about the budget is this entire film was shot using real locations.
You could feel it too.
Yeah, like there's no there's never a point where it's like
that's just like hospital room or whatever. That's not a good example because I don't think there's a hospital in the movie.
Sure.
But it's not like, oh, that's just a corner of a room and they're like, put a hospital bed in there and like...
Yeah. I mean, it
fucking go for
basically
it.
all takes place at the school and then at like Kat
house.
and Bianca's house.
In Seattle.
Which is just a house.
Yeah.
I
I think it's like $2.5 million. I looked it up after.
I saw while I was doing a little bit of research. Apparently it's like worth around 1.6 million now.
Yeah.
But like it's a nice house.
Rich kids.
They do. I'm glad that they address that their family's very rich because otherwise like it kind of like
It'd be a little weird.
yeah. But
Yeah.
like there's so many things where it's like you want to go sailing. It's like all right.
Yeah. You want to throw balloons of paint at each other and call it paintballing?
Yeah.
That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. That's not what paintballing is.
I mean, I guess it's just paint ballooning. I think that would be a fun date idea to go paintballing.
Yeah, but they call it paintball.
Do they?
Can I get into my problems with the movie, or what are we doing?
You want to jump right into problems?
I have one big problem that I want to talk about,
go
and
ahead.
I'm itching, and it's inside of me like a little
go
rabbit
ahead,
that
and then I'll rebuttal.
I don't. How do I phrase this? I think the Julia Stiles character is poorly written at the beginning and at the end. The middle, I think it's okay. Actually, no. I think the Julia Stiles character is wildly inconsistent and purposefully annoying. And I'm going to go full on this. And I don't really like her that much. I think they write her at the beginning as like annoying smart girl, which is a trope that I don't like.
Okay.
So when she's like she's framed as like, oh, this girl's such a piece of shit. No one could ever like her. Mm-hmm. She's got an opinion. No one could ever like her.
Sure, which is to set up that, she can go with the guy that everyone says the same about. Yeah.
But then she's like clearly opposed to like, she has a lot of political ideas, which I mostly agree with. But then she's flashing teachers in school, and she kind of just like falls for a guy like singing a song kind of okay to her. And then at the end...
that was more about him embarrassing himself to the level that he embarrassed her.
I guess. But, like, that's not going to make me fall in love with someone.
No, but it might like make you give them a second chance.
It's the thing in that awkward moment where you're like, guy does a thing that's, like, kind of not really big enough.
But here's the difference, though. Zac Efron didn't show up to his girlfriend's dad's funeral. Heath Ledger, like... was accepting money from a douchebag.
$50. That's not very much. She's cheap.
No, but I'm saying like,
are you dating anyone for $50?
He was only like pursuing her for the money for maybe the first the first interaction. But like pretty soon after that, he actually falls for her. But he keeps taking the money because like Joey Donner's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he's taken Joey's money, but, like, I think that Patrick taking money from Joey Donner while pursuing a girl he actually likes is, like, not as bad as not showing up to your girlfriend's dad's funeral when she asks you to, and then also kind of ghosting her. I don't think it's comparable, is what I'm saying.
No, I just think it's an example of something where you're like... okay, I guess it'll work for this movie, but like, if someone did that in real life, you'd be like,
I do think that it's kind of a quick turn because like literally the scene before she kicks a soccer ball at his head.
Yeah.
And then like there's one small scene and then the next scene is him doing that and she's like, okay.
And then at the end,
yeah,
it's just kind of like, oh, we have 4 more minutes left. Let's just resolve it. Where like, it doesn't feel like it should be resolved. And then he's like, what the fuck does he say? Like, what does he say that they're going to do where he just keeps interrupting her? And I'm like, I don't like this. This is not a good relationship. I don't like them at all. And I think that her character is just kind of inconsistent. And there's like parts of it that would work, but then she's framed as like an absolutely horrendous witch.
So this was, I forget what it's called. This movie's based on a Shakespeare play.
Yeah.
The Something and the Shrew. I forget what it is. Which is stupid because I literally read it 17 times while researching.
Let's see if I can find it for you.
Yeah, go ahead and find it.
I'll be your savior. I can be your hero, baby.
I don't know much about that play, but Olivia was telling me about...
The Taming of the Shrew.
The Taming of the Shrew. So Olivia was telling me about how that play is pretty misogynistic and sexist.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie does a really good job of taking that and making it not really that. But there's still a little bit in there. Like how Heath Ledger's character Patrick, like, interrupts her talking by kissing her multiple times in the movie. Which is just like a weird thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very much like, if a guy apologizes, I mean, you got to take him back.
Yeah.
But
and I was just like, it's so like 90s. It's so like... it's not good. Like a lot of the romantic comedies in the 90s are just like fine, and it's like the same shit with the Netflix romantic comedies where you're just like, it's something.
This is better than any Netflix romantic comedy.
Have you watched all the PS I Love Yous? Have you watched all the Kissing Booths?
I've seen most of the kissing booths, and
Have you seen the kissing booth?
that is the worst example to bring up as like
I know.
they are good. Okay, you've had your turn to like slander these movies. It's my turn to defend them.
Okay,
Or not these movies, this movie.
try.
I think that this movie is like really well structured. It feels like the whole movie is like a spider's web that's connecting, and everything that is said or done or shown has some sort of significant meaning. Like even in the scene where they're in the bookstore and he as a joke brings up like, oh, excuse me, have you what is it called? Let me go to my notes. He like says he says like, I'm looking for the Feminine Mystique, which is a book. And he says that as a joke just to start talking to her. And then they're having a conversation as she's looking through the bookstore, and you don't really think much of it. And then the scene ends and is punctuated with her giving him the book, The Feminine Mystique. And I just think like things like that happen throughout the movie where like everything that's shown and said comes back in some way, and it's kind of all just tied together really well. I do agree with you that like there are some things that seem like they're just like wrapped up to wrap them up, but I think for the most part everything kind of works with each other. There's like an A, B, and C plot of relationships, and they all kind of like happen at the same time and work together. And I also just think it's well written and funny. Like I think there's a lot of good quips in here.
I think it's well written and it's humorous. But the movie that I would like more is more Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's like, to me, by far the most charming part of the movie.
Interesting.
Him as a
I'd say
kid,
it's Heath.
Him and his little friend, and just like,
Michael?
I think they show how like
Michael's my favorite part.
Desperate teenage boys are.
Yeah.
I think that's really well shown. And I like that.
One of my favorite scenes is when they're like trying to convince Joey to like pay Patrick to go out with Kat. And Michael just goes and sits at Joey's table and just starts like nodding. Joey's like, are you lost? And he's like, hey, I'm just here to socialize anyway. And he's just like so awkward. I relate a lot to that guy.
But I feel like that's an interesting movie. And then there's like this, honestly, this other romance where I'm like, I could go either way on these two. Like they're going to flame out. They're not going to be in a good relationship. Like you can kind of tell from the first moment they get together where it's like clearly not going to end well.
I mean, it's a teen romance. Teen romance is
I want a little hope. I'd like some hope in my life.
But it's like, I think that it works for the movie. And I think they're the two, like, Kat and Patrick are the two most, like, broken characters.
It's always good when you put two really broken people together in a room.
Well, like, that's the whole gimmick of the movie, is that, like, those two are the undateables.
Oh, rich girl has problems? They are. I understand the gimmick.
I know.
And I get it, but I was watching and I was like, I don't know. It just didn't really connect. Maybe I gotta watch it.
She'd be like unloading.
I wish I gotta maybe I gotta watch it 9 times. maybe to get people get a little like towards it. And I think it's like it's one of the better teen comedies of that time.
Sure,
but I didn't find it hilarious. And I found the relationship that they focused on, and maybe it's because I'd heard about this Heath Ledger thing for so long, because this was my first time watching it. Okay. I'd heard about this, cool. Like,
good to know.
Oh, he's so good in 10 Things I Hate About You. I heard about it for so long, I was just kind of like underwhelmed by like the thing.
Well, you were expecting him to be the Joker.
Well, you want to know what I hate
turn into
about
Kermit the Frog?
You want to know how I hate you so much? I let you dance on the tables and took money from...
There are 10 things
I think my
I
Joker's
hate
a little
about
better than you.
I can't do Joker.
There are 10 things I hate about you.
Wow, I'm going to have to...
Oh, are you?
I'll try to save your ears best as possible, ladies and gentlemen, but there's only so much I can do when I'm facing an untamed beast.
Let's talk about Heath.
Let's talk about Heath.
He's got a pretty impressive career. In his American career, I should say. I don't really know much about his before that. He's got this, Brokeback Mountain, probably another movie I'm forgetting in here, and then The Dark Knight.
Sure.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen The Dark Knight?
I've seen it.
You've seen this one? Have you seen Brokeback Mountain?
I've not seen Brokeback Mountain.
I haven't either. I think it won an Oscar for something.
We'll see it at some point.
But do you think he's like really good in this movie? Like, do you think he's...
So I'll be honest, I wrote down that this movie makes me wish we got more Heath Ledger more than The Dark Knight does.
Yeah, because The Dark Knight's like so...
Not because he's better in this than he is in The Dark Knight, but just because like so many people... I'm just going to call out some people here. A lot of people like pretend to be like massive Heath Ledger fans, but they've only seen The Dark Knight.
Oh, he's in A Knight's Tale.
Yeah, I knew.
The Brothers Grimm, Lords of Dogtown.
I haven't heard most of these, but
he's in some good stuff. He was in a movie. A movie came out after The Dark Knight that he was in, called The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
What in the world?
This looks like... Oh, it's a Terry Gilliam movie. What is this? Anyway, maybe we'll put that on. Andrew Garfield's in that one as well.
Whoa! Anyway.
And Vern Troyer.
Oh, R.I.P. For real this time.
Oh, yeah, I guess he died.
That was years ago. But, it's just like, some people, like, have only seen The Dark Knight, and they're like, oh my goodness, Heath Ledger's one of my favorite actors, one of the greatest actors of all time, R.I.P. It's like, you just saw him as the Joker, and are... Like, I don't claim to be a massive Heath Ledger fan, but I've at least seen 2 of the movies he's in. Like, you know what I mean? But
and I think the Joker thing is, like, he's good in it, but it's been so ruined by a lot of people and their shitty Joker impressions like we just did.
Yeah.
But, like, full serious that they did.
Yeah, but no one does it better than he does.
No. And it's just, like, you're watching it now and you're like, I've had this ruined for me by, like, 20 fucking nerds on the internet.
I think that it's like... It's a thing that superhero fans do sometimes, where it's like... I mean, the same thing happened with Joaquin Phoenix Joker, where they go, oh,
literally
this one person doing this one performance in this superhero movie is above average for a superhero movie, thus it must be the greatest thing of all time. Mm-hmm. So, like, Heath Ledger's performance in The Dark Knight, incredible, truly.
Yeah.
But it's treated like it is like in the top 5 performances of all time in any movie, which kind of just like makes it, I don't know, it just like
it's
sours
just over,
it a
it's just
little bit.
overhype.
It's just also hard to like something that like a bunch
that's in an absolutely bloated movie.
Sure. But like, I mean, it's hard to like something that is liked by so many people who don't know why they like it. You know what I mean? Which that's so like pretentious to say.
You know what a top 5 performance ever is?
What?
Al Pacino in Heat. Give me all you got! When I see an ass, something comes out of me.
This is a good bit. And say the other one?
I forgot it.
Okay. But like watching 10 Things I Hate About You and seeing Heath Ledger, I go, like, seeing him smile, like he's got such a great smile. He's so charismatic and likable. I just want to see him
be a person.
So many different things.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like some people watch him be the Joker and go, oh, I want more of the Joker. It's like, no, I want to see him do like so many other things. He was clearly a very talented guy.
Because the Joker's not human. Like, that's not Heath Ledger as, like, a movie star. That's him playing the Joker really well. But that's not, like, a human performance. This is a human performance.
Yeah.
And I think he does well. I just think both him and Julia Stiles' characters are, like, a touch underwritten or a touch, like, not there for me fully. And maybe there's some nuances that I've kind of forgotten.
I will
or,
say
like,
that this
not
movie
picked up
has
on.
gotten better for me over multiple watches.
Yeah.
Like each time I watch it, I appreciate it more. So I wouldn't be surprised if the same happened with you, but I'm not gonna like blame you for not being.
You could
as into
like
it.
Clockwork Orange me and just like strap me down to the chair and make me watch it.
Oh
like,
yeah,
6
I'll
or
like
7
hold
times.
your eyes open.
Okay, good. Cool.
But yeah, I think that this movie's good. I think that like it's tied together really well. I think that it's super fun. Each of the characters is like super like distinct.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot of fun. I hate Joey Donner.
Oh yeah, but he's so.
but
good
like
in the
he's
movie.
so good as a piece of shit that I hate. So it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. All the characters are great. The cast is great. The writing's great. Sets are great.
I also just don't like how the pretty girls are also just fucking idiots too.
That's a weird thing though. Like Bianca and Gabrielle Union's character, what is it, Chastity or
I have
something?
no clue.
Both
Weird
of them.
name to give a high school. I guess people are named Chastity, but like,
Yeah.
you get to choose the name in the movie. So
Both of them are like stupid in their first 2 scenes, and then for the rest of the movie they're just like they're
There's-
kind of airy, but they're not stupid.
yeah, like they're like genuinely illiterate in the first couple scenes.
Yeah.
It's like, I like my brothers, you whatever the fuck that is. Olivia quoted to me directly last time I saw
Oh
her.
yeah. Yeah, it's a
I love my Prada
I like my
shoes.
Skechers, but I love my Prada backpack. But I love my Skechers. Well, that's because you don't have a Prada backpack. That's
like-
it, I think.
It's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, and it's the whole thing of like, I know you can be overwhelmed and underwhelmed, but can you just be whelmed? It's like, I think you can in Europe. It's like they talk like that in the first 2 scenes, and then for the rest of the movie, they're mostly normal.
That's like Royale with cheese and Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we very much disagree on this movie, and I'm not looking forward to ranking it.
That felt like a part where like, if like you didn't edit that, but if I was listening to that, I'd be like, oh, they just cut something out when you
Yeah.
went, yeah, and then moved on.
Dude, there's a couple of moments when I've been editing where I'm like, is there a way I can edit this to make it seem less edited? Because it's not. But I think you and I just both do bits where we'll say something, go silent, move on to the next thing, and it sounds, it's fine. I'd just like to highlight a couple things that I didn't like, because I've been talking about things I like.
Okay.
The detention scene where she flashes the guy,
I don't like that
and he's
scene at
just
all.
like, it's a creep. The teacher's creepy. I did like how he confiscated the kid's weed. He was like, I'm taking this. And then he sees Cheetos and he's like, I'm taking this too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I get it.
I also
man.
really like the English teacher.
Oh, the English teacher's the best, like one
Yeah,
of the
he's
best parts of
incredible.
the movie.
Yeah.
He just has no patience.
But I just don't like that she flashes him. Like, there's not a more creative way.
Not the
where-
English teacher. She doesn't flash the
No.
English teacher. She flashes
the gym
yeah.
teacher, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But there's not a more creative way you could have thought of where it's not like a minor showing her tits to a teacher.
Yeah. And him like clearly not being okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit weird.
It's a little 90s.
Also, I just realized this is kind of just another thing coming back later in the movie.
Rewind.
When Bianca is talking to Joey while she's doing archery on the field and shoots the gym teacher in the butt and then just like doesn't
Moves
think
on.
twice about it. But then he later in the detention scene goes to sit on his desk but then goes, ooh, because his butt hurts. It's just like everything comes back in some way.
I wrote down that it feels like it's a mix between Not Another Teen Movie and like a John Hughes teen movie,
Okay.
where it's like almost a spoof because there is like weird
Yeah.
like jokes like that where it's like that's
I think
not
it's
real.
just
and the high
self-aware.
school looks like fucking Hogwarts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's literally like on a lake.
Yeah,
But it's like
overlooking a
castle.
cliff,
Yeah.
and then the band plays on the roof.
I mean,
at
I
the
think
end?
that was just for the credits.
No,
sequence,
but like that adds to like it's a little bit closer to a spoof than it is to like a
Yeah,
John,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like Ferris Bueller's or something.
Mhm.
So I kind of like that tone where it's like a little bit, because I don't really like that Not Another Teen Movie that much. Have you seen that one?
No.
It's not great. It's very much like a Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah, it does feel like it's kind of a thing of like,
Or like
they
scary
kind of
movie.
make references and jokes to the fact that like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character has no chance with Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, What do you think you're? No, that's not gonna happen. This isn't like this isn't a.
She's Bianca.
Yeah,
you're that guy who had long hair.
Yeah, it's like you're not gonna. This isn't a movie. You're not gonna get this. But then he does get it because it's a movie. Yeah. So I think it's self-aware while still.
But it doesn't go too far where it's like annoying.
Yeah. All right. Here's another thing I didn't like: the white Rastas.
Yeah, that was weird.
I just think it was problematic. I mean, they like reference it as
like,
problematic, but
Spider in Avatar 2.
It's a little weird. But like Spider in Avatar 2 just has dreads. These guys are like trying to.
He's trying to speak Na'vi.
I guess he's. I guess you're right. He is trying.
He does blue face.
He's putting paint on his face. I just realized. Is it okay because they're a different species? Like, is that like putting putting?
Hey, they seemed all right with it in the movie. I mean, I don't know.
I did not think about that. That's like in Star Wars: The Clone Wars animated television show. What, did you just get a? Oh, Calder just got a big cramp in his leg. Put your mic up to your mouth so they can hear your pain.
Oh, it's okay now. I got.
Or put your mic up to your calf so that they can hear the muscles going. But in the Clone Wars, there's in the final season, there's a bit where Ahsoka's like clone trooper battalion paint their helmets to look like her face, which is like when you first see it, you're like, oh, it kind of looks like her because she's got orange skin and like white marks, and then you go, that's her skin.
Yeah,
like
it's weird,
and like. Instantly, as soon as that episode aired, there was a meme online that's like, "It's Mace Windu's battalion going to him and being like
his face on it."
I think that's a problem. I don't think that's okay. So honestly, the Spider in Avatar 2 thing is kind of along the same vein.
But the white Rastas, I had the same thing where it was like, this is just 90s. This is such a 90s thing where it's like,
yeah. I get that they're just trying to be like, here are all of the different like quirky groups. Yeah. But that's a rough one.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I apologize. I don't know.
Shit your pants.
Huh? Here's my question.
Ask it, please.
So, at what point did what Patrick was doing, Heath Ledger's character, become like wrong, and when did it become like okay? Because I think it's wrong to start because he's getting paid to date someone, but then he likes her but is still getting paid and is lying to her about it.
It's okay. So whenever the first payment is, that's when it's wrong. Whenever the last payment is, and he says he's not going to take any more money, that's when it's okay.
Okay.
All between that, even if he's like, I like her, but like I'm just scamming this guy,
it's still wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say that I'd agree with that. But I'd say that like I'm still kind of like, I get it, he's still getting the money, but it's a good deal for him. He gets to go out with a girl he likes and get paid for it. That's pretty chill. It's
he's
wrong.
Not even getting paid that much, is he?
No. I mean, there's a point where he's getting like $100 a date.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's the starting point. I have a question here. What's your starting price for dating someone secretly?
Okay, but let me finish this thought real quick. I think that like when I go, ooh, not really on your side anymore, Patrick, is when she directly asks what's in it for him and he says nothing. I just want to date you. There's nothing out. There's no other reason.
But he's still getting paid.
And he's still getting paid.
Yeah.
And even if he wasn't still getting paid, like him not telling her at that point when she asks.
Yeah.
I think that's when it's like, okay, I don't really get it. It
almost makes you think that like Zac Efron might have been a better guy. David Krumholtz.
Yeah.
So how much? What's your starting price for dating a woman? Like how much did they have to pay you?
Why did you say David Krumholtz and then move on to a different thing?
We're just coming back to it, getting back into it.
But David Krumholtz is unrelated to the topic we're talking about.
We're just getting back into it.
Okay, interesting. Keep
How
going.
much? What was your starting price when you started dating Olivia?
If someone had paid me to date her instead?
No. How much did they pay you to date Olivia?
Ooh.
Because you're not doing that for free.
I don't know how to tell you this.
Sorry. I know Olivia's mom listens to these. She's a very nice girl.
I don't know how to tell you this, but not only Oh wait, I was gonna say not only did I not get paid, but I had to pay. Because I was gonna say like I paid for our first date, but my credit card declined on our first date.
Let's fucking go.
So technically, actually, I did not pay.
Okay, so you're in high school. Someone says, "Take this girl on a date so I can date this other girl."
And it's a girl where when they point at her, I go, "Her?"
Yeah, and I go, "Oh my!"
How much do I gotta get paid?
Yeah,
genuinely, probably like my starting would probably be like. With today's inflation, probably like $250 a date.
Because I also had the question, is Heath paying for these dates? Like, is the money used to pay for the date?
He talks about that when he's like, because his initial pitch is $20.
But then he's like, I
could give you 30 tickets. Yeah, but then he's like, I got to pay for the date. I got to get popcorn. I got to drive her home, which is going to cost me gas. And then I got to drive myself home. And I got to do this more than once.
Yeah.
So, like, he does consider that.
I guess shit was just cheap back
Honestly,
then.
I would need more than $250. I think I just have a slightly better moral compass than Patrick does at the beginning of this movie. I just like would feel weird about it, and I'd honestly probably tell her almost immediately.
You're not good at keeping secrets, really.
No, I'm okay at keeping secrets. It's just I would feel like I'm
not if I beg.
Like I'm not betraying someone. Oh yeah, I'm betraying their trust. Yeah. So, like, I'd probably go on, like, one date and be like, hey, I had a great time. By the way, here's, like, $125. I'm being paid to go out with you. I say we split the money.
Yeah.
Because I'm really enjoying hanging out with you.
So if it's going bad at the start, then you're keeping the money.
Well, no, if it's going bad, then I'm probably just going to be like, thanks for the $250. I don't really want to go on another date with her. Like, I'd probably just tap out if it goes bad and then scam the guy if it goes well and be like, we're going to scam this guy for money.
I think if you got to me grade 10, asked me to go out on a date with a girl.
You were desperate then.
Exactly. Taking $5.
$5.
Yeah. But she had to be, like, ready to date me.
Oh, to, like, be in a relationship.
Yeah. Because there's no way I was getting a girlfriend back then. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, certainly not.
You don't know what I mean, or you do?
No, I certainly
was not getting a girlfriend back
not
then.
Getting into relationships
Yes.
in the 10th grade is what I was saying.
And not because I was some Casanova.
No, I think it was, let me think about it. Oh, yeah, it was your face mostly. It was mostly your face.
Yeah, I did have a lot of acne back then.
You did a lot of acting?
I had a lot of acne.
Oh, I thought you said acting like, yeah, I acted like I didn't want to be around. Or like I acted like I didn't like people.
I didn't want to be around anymore.
Yeah. Also, you did not have an ugly face in the 10th grade. I just want to clarify that.
Oh, you think I'm sexy?
Yeah, I thought I was about to say 10-year-old you. Oh, no.
Wow, interesting. Is that why you're friends with me? Because you thought I was hot back then?
No.
I like the skunk club scene.
Mm-hmm.
When they go to see The Rock. I remember thinking like, oh, that's a fun one. And I think their little banter there is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that he's like in there and then he's like really uncomfortable. Because it's like one of the few moments where he is going into a place where like he's not really comfortable, even though he's not like super comfortable
and when he sings
all the
to
time.
Her,
But I felt like the skunk club was a bit like, I honestly feel like the skunk club's a bit of a bigger gesture because it's like, I'm going into your territory. We're still at the school. I'm still singing.
That's true.
Everyone at the school kind of knows I don't care.
I mean, he does make
a
big deal where it's like, I cannot be seen there.
Yeah.
But he still does it anyway. And that's like, I'd say that when they're at the skunk club is when he actually starts to like her. Because he just sees her dancing, having a good time. And he's like, oh, I kind of like her. So like, he does that gesture of show. Well, actually, I guess he doesn't like talk to her yet. So maybe he showed up there. And he was, like, thinking of leaving. And then it wasn't until he saw her dancing that, like, he was like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot.
Yeah. She's got something going on. Because he's got to find her. He finds her attractive.
Sure. But, like, I don't know. I think we just disagree on this movie. I do think that you should watch it more than once. Because the first time I watched it, I thought it was just
you should watch that awkward moment 6 times in a row.
I don't think I'd make it to the second time.
Your dick looks like a... I don't fucking know.
Pringles can.
I gave up. I gave up.
He gives up.
Would you let Joseph Gordon-Levitt smash?
Me?
Yeah. If you're a girl, close your eyes. Imagine you're a woman. Long flowing. Oh, stop it.
Sorry, it's just like a big shock. I'm used to being a boy.
Okay, imagine you're a woman.
Okay.
Long flowing hair.
Nice.
All the woman body parts. You're a woman. And you're however old Joseph Gordon-Levitt is, because I don't think he's supposed to be the same age as them.
Well, no, I think he's supposed to be
A year younger?
because they
2 years
say
younger?
that Bianca's a sophomore. So I think
he's 2 years younger. If they're seniors. Are they seniors? Are they juniors?
What?
Goes freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Yeah, I think he's a freshman. So
And
he's
then
just 1 year younger
Heath
than she
is junior. Heath and Kat are juniors. Or are they
No,
seniors?
because she's talking about going across the country to go to.
So they're seniors.
I think
so
they're
he's 2 years
seniors.
younger.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is 2 years younger than Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, but only 1 year younger than Bianca.
Oh, Bianca's...
A year younger than Kat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you're Bianca's age. Close your eyes again.
Okay.
Would you let him kiss you on the lips and
He's sweet.
do other?
He's sweet in this movie.
Mhm.
Like, he's caring. I really like the scene in the car when he's like, I've been so nice to you, and you've just taken advantage of me.
Yeah.
And it's not him trying to guilt her. It's him just genuinely being like, you can't treat people that way.
Yeah.
And I really like that because I think that is kind of a moment of her being like, I think he's kind of right.
I think he's such a good character in this. That's
I do
such a
think
good
he's a good
character.
character.
I feel like they can make a whole movie just about him,
Yeah.
which is one of the strengths of this movie is that like a lot of the side characters are really interesting,
Yeah.
and I like them.
I was about to say you could honestly make a movie about any of the three couples, but like I feel like making a movie about Michael and his like
Shakespeare or
goth
whatever.
Shakespeare girlfriend would be like a Kronk's New Groove situation where it's like Kronk's the best character in Emperor's New Groove, but a Kronk movie,
Yeah.
like he works as a side comedy character. Yeah. You gotta talk, man. You gotta talk. You looked at your notes for too long.
I did the thing again where I couldn't.
The
read
worst
it.
part is I know if I didn't say anything, you would have kept sitting there.
Do you think Joey would eat a sloppy steak?
Oh,
He looks like his hair would slick back real nice.
Here's the thing, though. His hair was slicked up.
Yeah, but he could slick
Up
it
and
back,
back.
real like it was pushed back. Like that was pushed back. That wasn't.
It was slicked up, pushed
Yeah.
back, but he could slick it back.
He could slick it back
real nice.
Glass house, white bathing suit, white Ferrari, lives for New Year's Eve. Yeah, he would eat a sloppy
He
steak
would eat a sloppy
real
steak
nice
for sure.
he
Joey
would eat a
would.
sloppy
He
steak
would-
real
Joey would
nice.
eat a
Maybe even
sloppy steak
chicken
for sure.
spaghetti,
Joey
but
would,
we'd have
maybe.
to see about that.
Even if he can't order the sloppy steak, nothing's stopping him from ordering a steak and a glass of water and
nice
sloshing
big,
it around.
big rare cut of meat.
Anyway, can I read a couple facts?
Yeah,
about
I think
this
so,
movie?
maybe.
And,
Hopefully.
So Heath Ledger improvised the moment where Patrick starts playing with the fire and he's just like moving his fingers through it,
That's a good moment.
which is a good
It's
moment.
kind of like the Joker.
good character. Well, kind of like the Joker. The scene where Kat reads the 10 Things poem near the end of the movie, where she's listing the things that she hates about Patrick, like his boots.
Mm-hmm.
That was also it wasn't. The poem wasn't improvised.
But she like wrote it and brought it, right?
I don't know about that, but it was the first take and the only take, and she wasn't supposed to cry, but she did, and they were like, "Wow, that was really good."
I think Julia Stiles brought that to set and was like, I got this thing for the ending.
That would be pretty cool if that's true.
Let's do it. And then she did it. And then it was very good. 'Cause that's a good part of the movie. I think that works well.
Yeah.
Because if there's a way that you do that in a movie and it sucks, and you're
Well,
like,
it could have been so cheesy and corny,
yeah,
but I think because of the way that she reads it, and like not only the fact that she cries through it, but the way that she cries through it,
yeah,
it kind of makes you, instead of being like, oh, it's just whatever, like this is the moment of the movie, like instead of being like that, you're kind of just like, oh man,
yeah, like
I
it's
feel
really
I
weighing
feel
on
really
her.
bad for her, man.
Yeah,
And I also feel bad for him a little bit because he's listening to her cry through that, knowing that he bought a guitar that's sitting in her car right now, and he just like can't really say anything.
But like he knows that'll work. That'll get her
he
right
knows
back
that'll
on his
work.
side. Hey, girl, I know you hate me. I know I've done terrible things to you throughout the movie. I bought you a guitar though.
She does, to be fair, say you can't just buy me a guitar every time.
But
you
it
make a mistake.
works.
But here's the thing. It's not as much that he bought her a guitar as it is that he bought her the guitar she wanted with the money that he got for dating her. So it's kind of him just like being like, I don't care about that. I need you to know that I don't care about that. The money is gone into this guitar for you, basically. But
is she even good? Is she good at playing?
I don't know. She just wants to start a band, I guess.
Yeah. Didn't we all in the 90s?
All right, here's a little thing. David Krumholtz, who plays Michael in the film, wrote a piece for Vulture explaining why he thought the movie worked so well. He stated that the entire cast became fast friends. Joseph Gordon-Levitt turned me onto Phish, Phish, I think it's a band.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I turned him on to Wu-Tang Clan. Gabrielle Union had us in stitches.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt was a Phish guy?
I guess so, man.
Do you know what Phish is?
Not really.
They're like a jam ska band. And they've got like a weird stoner following.
I mean, props to David Krumholtz for recommending Wu-Tang Clan or introducing him.
If someone was like, "Hey, listen to this Phish song," I'd be like, "Fuck you." Listen to Wu-Tang Clan. That's good.
A part of me hopes that this like isn't even true, and he's just trying to like slander Joseph Gordon-Levitt and be like, he turned me on to Phish. Meanwhile, I introduced him to Wu-Tang Clan. Gabrielle Union had us in stitches. Julia Stiles brought her own brand of Soho-bred artistic intellectualism.
Oh, so she's like kind of like the character?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Larissa Oleynik's laughter filled the room. Yikes, I can't read. And we marveled at
were you reading laughter as Larissa Orlinick?
No, I was reading laughter as character.
Oh, okay. Jesus.
And we marveled at the tonedness of Andrew Keegan's muscles, who played Joey.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And
filming
like the sloppy
began
steaks he was
without
eating?
Heath Ledger, and the cast grew worried how his presence would change the dynamic because they'd all become such fast friends.
But he's a glue guy.
Oh yeah, he's a glue guy. This was a concern that was remedied a few days later when he arrived, and we found yet another comrade in sensibility. What? I don't know what that means. The group with Heath only got stronger before we knew it. The cast was experiencing what I've found to be all too rare, a unified chemistry throughout the ensemble without a single bad apple in the bunch. We all agreed that we were having the best summer of our lives.
You know what else Dave is, that guy?
David Krumholtz?
I've said his name 6 times and I just forgot it.
Yep.
You know what else he was in?
What?
The Santa Claus. He was the head elf. You think he's kind of like firing shots at Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was me hitting Calder. I just wanted that.
Good thing I have muscles like really hard rocks and skin like diamonds, so it doesn't hurt me at all. It hits me and then it bounces back and hits Adam even harder. I'm made of rubber and he's made of shit.
Wow. Anyway, so the whole cast being friends kind of, I think, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, it's like Booksmart, where Olivia Wilde made Beanie Feldstein and Caitlin Dever live together for a while. Yeah. That's gonna sound really edited when I go Caitlin Dever.
Yeah, for sure.
She made them live together. You can put your feet up here. Come on, bring them my way.
Okay, we're changing our postures here.
Oh, he's slouching. Oh,
and I touched
my big old penis.
I touched his penis with my heel. And he's
it.
massaging my sweaty foot.
That doesn't smell that bad.
Okay, that's good. I don't know. I think that this movie just oozes charisma, and the ensemble cast gets along really well, and I think it's really fun, and I like it. Now, who are you casting Adam Driver in, or as?
I feel like Heath's part. I'd want to see him do that.
I could see him do Heath's part.
He might be a good like gym teacher also.
Yeah.
Like one of the adult parts. Maybe a good dad. Every day I wake up and I wish you were dead.
Oh yeah, I wrote down that the dad, to me, every time he's on screen, just seems like budget Dan Aykroyd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he looks and sounds like Dan Aykroyd.
But he's like, okay. He's fine.
Yeah.
The dad is like a strange role
Yeah.
in this movie. He's just very angry.
He just like clearly has some unprocessed trauma that he's just like dumping onto his daughters.
I guess the wife died, right? Like the mom died. Get over it.
I guess Heath Ledger. I don't know.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but at 35.
Actually, I'm gonna throw a wrench into this one. I want to cast Adam Driver as Bogey Lowenstein.
Gonna get it.
He's the guy who was golfing at the beginning, and he's the guy whose house the
Oh,
party
that's
is at.
actually good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Where he's just like, "Can you guys take it outside?" And then they smash through the window. He's like,
"Aw."
"Thank you." I think
I
Adam
like
Driver
that.
in that role would be funny.
Yeah, that's
All
a
right.
good one.
We got to rank this. This is
I
a
think
tough
so.
one. So I'm going to say where I'd put it before you say where you'd put it, because
Okay.
I think mine's going to be higher.
Oh, I think it will.
I think I would put it... I would probably put it... I would put it above Turning Red.
That's lower than I thought you were gonna put it. I was worried.
Okay.
I'll let you in on a little secret. You know how I told you that I sort of pre-rank the 4 before
Before we talk about them, yeah.
I put this one at 4th.
Really?
Yeah.
Below that awkward moment?
Look. Okay, so
Oh.
no, but listen.
Okay, but...
I'm sorry.
I don't even know if that picked up. You hit me so hard on the leg.
It's just a little smack.
It's a big smack. All right,
Sorry,
keep going.
sorry.
It's okay. It's just going to be
But
red.
you know how I did that with the first ones?
Yeah.
And I said that my 2 are better than yours, but we compromised. Harry Potter ended up first.
Interesting.
Okay? I'm sorry.
No. I'm saying interesting to like you're doing some weird negotiation shit right now.
No, I'm just telling you. I'm not set in stone on it being the worst of the 4.
I thought you were saying I let Harry Potter be number 1 last time. I'm not
No.
letting mine. Okay.
No.
So where would you put it? Not knowing where I put it, where would you put it?
I think after talking to you about it and seeing what you appreciate about it, and then also remembering that it's like actually well made, whereas that awkward moment isn't that well made. Sorry, Tom Gormachan or whatever his name is.
And don't say a compromise answer. Say your genuine answer, and then we'll find
Initially, I was going to go under that awkward moment, but not under Hardcore Henry.
Okay.
Because I thought that awkward moment was worse, like than weird. That's kind of where I had it before. But after talking to you, and after you having that knife to my throat,
Yeah. I have a gun.
I think it's fair to put it above weird.
So
For me,
So you would put it
I have it above weird.
above
between
weird,
Batman,
below
and
the
weird.
Batman, and I have it above Turning Red, below John Wick. Do you
Yeah.
want to compromise? Put it between Turning Red and the Batman.
Now here's the thing: you're a skunk, and I'd never compromise with you.
True.
But on this one,
Willing to compromise?
yeah. Oh, and you just gave me $1 million too. I whispered that into Mike. You'll hear that
Oh,
when you're editing. You
shit.
pick that up, so you're gonna owe me for the rest of your life.
You held onto my hand for
You're
so
gonna
long.
owe me for the rest of your life.
You're being very touchy tonight.
It's late.
We'll see where it goes.
7:20.
We'll see where the night brings us. He just winked at me. Andy's moving his tongue around. All right, so that means that as of right now, 10 Things I Hate About You is sitting at number 6 on our list, below Turning Red and above The Batman. Next episode will be Waves.
That's just the waves. Waves don't die.
Which I think is going to be a very interesting one to talk about.
Probably shouldn't sing Chris Brown on the pod, huh?
I'd like to come out
And I guess that is also
as
a Kanye
representative
song, huh?
of ScreenShare Movie Podcast and say we do not endorse Chris Brown or Kanye West or anything they've said or done in the past.
Unless they make some real changes.
I mean, I guess everybody can change, but like that, they've got a lot of changing to do.
Well, I just meant I hope Kanye makes Yeezy stuff less ugly because it's horrendously ugly. Why are people convinced that Yeezy clothing is nice? Who are these people?
Because
And
Kanye
where do
tells
they
them that,
hit
and
their
people
head?
look at Kanye like he's a god.
And also Chris Brown. I don't like either of them. I'm not a fan of either of them.
I really don't like Chris Brown.
Anyway, sorry to burst everyone's bubble, but this isn't a podcast for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is a podcast where we keep it real, like no bullshit.
Yeah, like no bullshit, like two dudes just talking, like no bullshit, like no one can censor us. Like we're not going to be censored.
Yeah, we're not going to let the woke mob get their firm grip around our balls.
Like remember last episode when Adam said Paul Rudd, when he turns small, should turn into Kevin Hart? Like we're not censoring that. And now you have to keep it in because it's in this one too.
It's in both episodes. The thing is, I was just saying because he's short, and then you made it seem like I was saying something else.
No, I didn't make it seem like that. I just feel like I didn't try to make it seem like that.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, this podcast ended a while ago.
Yeah, honestly, let's take a pause and
David Krumholtz.
That was the episode 10 Things I Hate About You for ScreenShare Movie Podcast. Next episode is Waves. We'll be talking about that one of Calder's picks for the
Trey
month.
Edward Schultz movie. It's on Crave.
It's on Crave.
And I highly recommend watching it before you listen to the podcast.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah. Some of them you can kind of get through it without, but this one I highly recommend you watch it before the podcast.
Agreed. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Love ya. Kiss ya. Miss ya. Smooch ya. Hug ya.
Are those the 10 things you do to me?